I just wanted to share a few things here. Talk about how amazing the Lord is. Talk about how amazing the will of God is. When we are in the will of God, things just happens. Things start to happen when we give God the space to work in our lives. Sometimes we ask God for so many things. Sometimes it's just not His will. And we try to insist, we try to force it, and we ask so much that sometimes the Lord, in order to not violate, in order for Him not to violate your free will, the Lord will step aside and let you do what you want to do. And sometimes, that has consequences. What we plant, that's what we're going to sow. When we plant, that's what we're going to reap. And so for that reason, we need to be careful to what we plant. And the people of Israel were asking for a king. The Lord told them, Samuel, it's okay. They're not turning their back on you. They're turning their backs on me. So the people basically spit on God's face, saying they wanted a king because basically they were saying the Lord wasn't enough. But that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about just the fact that the Lord will use anybody. The Lord will use anybody He wants to. There are 3 people in the Bible that I have studied a lot, and that I find it amazing the fact that they were used by the Lord despite everything they had going on in their life. First one is Gideon. So when we go to the book of Judges 6, chapter 6, verse 11, what happened was when Joshua died, people stopped believing in God after a while. So when people turned their backs to God, God would put them in the hands of their enemies. They would get sick of it, and then they would call up on the name of the Lord. And when they did that, God would raise up a prophet to bring them out and to save them from their enemy's hand. And that happened many times. The same thing over and over. They would become slaves. The Lord, then they would call upon the Lord. The Lord would raise up a prophet. The prophet will save them from the hands of their enemies. As soon as the prophet died, they would turn back on the Lord, and then they would complain and say, "Where were you, God? Where is the God that took our people out of Egypt?" So after a few times that happened, there was this amazing man called Gideon. And so Judges 6:11 says, the angel of the Lord came and sat down under the oak in Ophrah. This is when the people were complaining and the Lord was going to raise up a prophet. So the Lord was sitting under the oak in Ophrah that belonged to Joash the Abiezrite, where his son Gideon was threshing wheat in a winepress to keep it from the Midianites. When the angel of the Lord appeared to Gideon, he said, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." "Pardon me, my Lord," Gideon replied, "but if the Lord is with us, why has all this happened to us? Where are all His wonders that our ancestors told us about when they said, 'Did not the Lord bring us out of Egypt?' But now the Lord has abandoned us and given us into the hand of the Midian." The Lord turned to him and said, Go in the strength that you have, and save Israel out of Midian's hands. Am I not sending you?" "Pardon me, my Lord," Gideon replied, "but how can I save Israel? My clan is the weakest in Manasseh, and I am the least in my family." The Lord answered, "I will be with you, and you will strike down all the Midianites, leaving none alive." Gideon replied, "If now I have found favor in your eyes, give me a sign that it is really you talking to me." So the most important thing here is that Gideon was not going to go because he was prepared. Gideon was going to go because he was strong, because he was a warrior. Gideon wasn't going to go because he was ready to go. Gideon was used by the Lord. So the Lord said, "Am I not the one sending you?" So when the Lord talks to you, when He gives you a mission, when the Lord tells you to do something, you go and do it, because it's in His power that you're going to overcome. It's not in your own power. And when we move on to 1 Samuel 9:15, then we go back to Saul. So Saul